great as always. How about yourself?
Doing good. It's been a minute since we've been streaming live on a Sunday evening. I'm trying to get back in the swing of it.
It's been a minute, basically a week. This is the second week. You remember last week we were streaming live. Now we're streaming live again, So
it's still hard.
It's just a little bit getting the kinks out. At our age, you have to kind of we have to crank ourselves up to get going.
That's right. I'm just checking all of our feeds here. I see us on YouTube, see us on Facebook, in the Ecamm live community. So hello to everybody in the Ecamm community. And I'm double checking here to make sure my chat's working here. Let me do a couple test messages here.
We got a great guest coming up for you guys today, so really be locked in with us. If you are seeing the notification, come on in. Please make a comment. We're going to take this time in the beginning of the show to kind of connect with everybody. Want to say hello to you. Want to know where you're from. So if you're seeing this in the community, just say, hey, say hello and tell me where you're watching from tonight. And we want to get a chance to shout you guys out. And again, thank you for all the support you always give us here at the Stream Show. My name is DJ Strick, and of course over there is Brant Collins. And Brent and I are the Stream guys, and our job today is just to help you stream. All right, we want to be able to do that. So big shouts out to our guy, and hopefully one of these days, I know soon, we're going to get a chance to get him more. Man, I love the support we get from my man, Rob Balasavas. Good evening to you, sir. Thanks for checking in with us. We got to get you locked in on a date really, really quick. And he's working a little bit. That's what's up, man. We're going to get a chance to talk about some good ideas for streamers tonight, content creators with Ash. So thanks for coming through, man. Thanks for coming through. And I love the compliments, Rob with the compliments today. You too, man. Golly, love Rob Balasavas.
That's awesome. Let me ask you a real quick favor of Strick there. I know we're doing this on the fly. If you can show up Rob's comment again, pull it to the right of the logo and kind of scale it up so people can read it. There you go. And you can make it a little bigger if you want to. There we go. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Dr. Elo is watching from hotel in Richmond, Virginia. Dr. Elo, it's good to see you, sir. Thanks for hanging out with us today. And, he said it's all good brothers. That's what's up, man. It is all good. And we want to get a chance to see and hear from you guys. So no matter where you're from, what you're doing, just drop in the comments, and we'll have an opportunity to kind of shout you out. This is going to be our opportunity to connect with you, talk to you, put your comments on the stream. And Brent and I are doing, this is the third season of the Stream Show.
Yeah, so this is season 3. I had some really good advice from, Strick and I both come from broadcast. He's a radio guy. I'm a TV guy. And, we're trying to work in how we're going to do the show. And I talked to Stephanie Liu, and she said, do it as seasons. So we took her advice, and we're in our third season. It's going to be a little short season because of Christmas and holidays and all that stuff. But this will be season 3. We're in the first full year of doing the Stream Show, so we've had a lot of fun.
That's what's up. And Rob said he's just shared it on his community tab as well. So Thank you, Rob, for sharing it. Definitely appreciate all the support you give. He's like one of the best when it comes to connecting people in community. So we appreciate the networking that Rob provides for us. Thank you, man. And you are right, Rob. As Brent said, Stephanie is a great person when it comes to getting advice from. So if she tells you to do something, you might want to try to do it, whatever it takes, you might want to try to do it.
I see Alicia Way is in the house. Yep. Kim Scott is in the house.
There he is. Awesome. We are live, sir. We are live. Shouts out to you. So this is our countdown. As you can tell, we're getting close to it, and we're going to start the show. But if you are watching us from wherever you're watching us from, whether it's on our YouTube page or if it's in the communities,
Gotta watch that countdown.
Yeah, I looked at it, just kept on talking. And check out who's here with us today.
Did you see? She's got a new channel, a brand new channel. Everybody check out Jillian's channel.
That's
Creative
nice.
Communicators.
That's nice. Thanks
Very
for
good.
hanging out with us and coming through tonight. So, Brent, normally we would talk about this in the countdown, but because we got so tied up with talking to Rob and Dr. Elo and now Jillian, how are you doing, man? How's the family?
Doing good. We're we're having just kind of moving through, getting ready for Thanksgiving. We've had a little health issues with my father, but we're getting those taken care of, and we're just kind of, school's been kind of normal. Everything sort of getting back to normal. So, it's been really, really good. How about yourself?
No, you can't go without talking about the new gig, the content creator.
Oh, yeah.
For your library there. Tell me about was this the third week now?
Third or fourth week. So, I was a marketing director for a small credit union. I did not like that job very much. And I kind of did, from Vlogmas and all these other things, I tried to say, I was a content creator. I pushed my brand, my personal brand that way, and I actually applied for a job, and I got the job as a content creator for our public library system, this CALS, it's CALS.org. And, they threw me in the deep end the first couple of weeks. I've done 2 or 3 eCam shows or, live shows using eCam. I did 2 or 3 with our executive director, and he was excited. So, all the practice I did over the last year with this show and with Vlogmas really helped me shine. And right now we're doing I'm doing all my wish list of all my, the gear that I want and how we're going to work. So the long-term goal is I'm building a, live broadcast studio for the library, which not only will help us with our marketing message, but will also let patrons of the library use it as well, because I'm a firm believer that this is the future, right? That if you're like back in the day, it was you had to be in the yellow pages. Then it was like, oh, you got to have a website.
That's right.
You got to have a Facebook page. I think the next evolution is you either have to have a podcast or a YouTube channel to kind of come up above all the fray. And then after COVID, it's all about the video stuff.
That is right, and definitely don't want you to miss my man Rob saying congratulations to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer. I'm trying to answer everybody in the chat here.
Steve Worthy, thank you for coming through, sir. What's going on to you as well? Thank you for hanging out with us, and also Dr. Elo is.
Tell me a little about you. What's going on? Because I've seen everything from you had huge guests on the Strict City show. You were in California with your wife doing some really cool shows. You're just everywhere. You've kind of been all over the place. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I'll be honest with you. Let me tell you what I just did this weekend. So, we're talking about content creation and getting out there and marketing yourself. I was actually in the real world this weekend. So a friend of mine actually did a recommitment service. He remarried his wife. Like, they just decided, hey, we want to do this again after 28 years. And I actually did the service for them in their backyard. It was a great time, great opportunity to hang out with some friends and be a help to them as they were doing the ceremony together. And it was super, super cool. I needed to be out of the house because my football team wasn't doing so well. So being there with them made me feel so much better. And then another friend of mine, pastor friend of mine, invited my wife and I out to his church. He is celebrating a birthday, and he wanted us to come to be there at his birthday. My wife played, and I actually got a chance to DJ their reception. So I don't DJ, okay? I literally don't DJ.
Name.
But it's in my name. So he asked me to do it. I said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. So that was my weekend, being in the real world.
That's awesome. Sounds like a lot of fun.
So I know we got chats going on and everybody's talking to each other, man. Definitely thank you for everybody being here in the chats. If I missed something, Brant, just kind of say, hey, don't forget, like even what Jillian just said, as she's coming from her new channel. So I don't want to miss anything when it comes to that. And wow, this is just so big. This is just so big.
It's good. It's great to see everybody here.
All right.
That is awesome. Yeah, good. Congratulations on the new channel. So I think that's going to be awesome. I think, you're doing so many cool things. You got Robin here. I'm trying to see Steve. You've mentioned everybody. I think everybody's coming along. So I think everybody's glad to see us on a Sunday night again.
That is awesome. And I don't take it lightly that people will come and actually watch what we do and be a part of what we do. Our job is really, really simple. We want to help streamers succeed. So we're going to do all that we can to give you information, give you some tools to be successful in this space. And I want to say this to everybody that's watching, we're all growing together. So between Brant and I, we have over 40 years of media experience. Brant did broadcasting media, and I come from the radio world. And my piece of this whole equation is the mindset and the skills and the talent, making sure that after you have bought all of this camera equipment, you know how to get in front of the camera and use the microphone to communicate whatever your message is. That's what I want to do with you. And that's what this show is about.
Yeah, and so, I come from a background of marketing. I ran my own ad agency. My wife and I had our own production company for a lot of years. And like Strick said, I did live broadcast TV for a lot of years as well. So, together we're just trying to help streamers succeed. And, whether it's the business side on how to structure your deals to, I think there's plenty of good channels on YouTube about cameras. That's one of the things we talk about a lot is like we don't need to go into all this depth about cameras. There's so many great people to watch about what that kind of tech is. But once you got it all set up and you want to start using it professionally, that's what we want to help you do.
And saying that, we have a young man with us tonight that we're going to get a chance to talk to about that thing, so he has so much information. Not only does he have a wealth of information about streaming and content creation, he is a content creator that is going all out. Like he's going all out, creating content on a daily basis. And it is just amazing to watch his evolution. It's amazing to watch him create and also to see his growth over time. So we get a chance to talk to our guest today. And man, just give him the best stream show welcome that you can. You might have to do the noise for me, Brett, because I'm still working.
I think I have the right noise button here.
Getting all my noise together. See, my air doesn't, or my claps and pause don't sound the same. But all right, see that I don't know if you heard that, but there you go. That sounds a whole lot better. So none other than Ash Bortland. Come on, Ash, how you doing, sir?
Guys, thank you so much for having me on. I could just sit and watch you. I could literally just sit here. I was thinking, I don't want to do this right now because I just want to watch you guys,
you guys
banter between each other.
All right, I'm gonna step out of screen for a second. I gotta adjust something here.
Okay, so as he steps out of the screen, we got people that are coming through Ash that I want to talk to. Of course, in our comments right now, Rob is making connections with new people with Jillian. We have the Be Love Inc. girls that had just stepped in to say hello to everybody. So definitely shouts out to you ladies. I miss you guys. We got to talk really soon. So Steve Worthy that you recently connected with is definitely saying you are the truth and you really are that. I should be putting all of this up. There you go. Where's Steve Worthy? There he is there for you.
Steve's a legend, and so's Rob. And so's
there he is. There you go. He says, love the haircut, Ash. And Steve Worthy is connecting with the Be Love Inc. girls. Ash, man, thank you so very much for staying up to midnight to hang out with us. eCamp community. Ash is in Australia.
No, I'm in the UK.
No, he's in the UK.
We were talking about Australia off air. That's why he's just caught you off.
It did. Tell me your exact locations and your address so everybody know how to come to your house.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can do that. No, I'm in Cambridge, just outside of London.
That's what's up.
South of England. Everyone else, to you guys, no one will know what that is.
But that's
so
awesome.
You're Southie? Is that what that term means?
Kind of. I'm from Liverpool originally. So.
All right, very good.
So you guys, it's just completely nothing to any of you guys in the US.
No, that's what I want to say. That under Beatles from Liverpool.
Yeah. My grandmother used to babysit Paul McCartney.
Are you for real?
That's awesome.
For real.
No way.
Yeah, there's a claim to fame.
So you should get Paul on your show, right?
I don't think Paul would know who I am. Gosh.
That's really cool though.
So
I had a brief session when I was in the military. I was in the Navy. I was in Puerto Rico for a week, and I did shore patrol with a bunch of British sailors. So that was a very interesting. So I have a lot of, if you want to hear off air some of those stories, I'll tell you those. But I had a lot of fun with the British sailors, so they're pretty cool.
They're good guys.
So Rob wanted to know, how close are you to Dan Holloway?
Literally just talking to Dan before the stream, to be fair. So yeah, not very far. So he lives in London. I live in Cambridge, but he is actually looking to move down here. So when me and Rob, where I live, like near this way, and I didn't, not because of me, purely when Rob introduced us all, because he's this master networker. Everyone needs to know Rob.
Everybody needs to know him.
If you don't know Rob and you're a content creator, you won't be a content creator very long. So
right.
You need to get in that world. Everybody knows him. And Dan was just like, oh, I'm actually looking to live at this village. Do you know it? And I was like, yeah, it's literally the one next to me. So
wow.
So that'll be really cool. It'll be nice to actually not be alone and actually have someone else in the kind of world we're in.
I'm going to connect you. I'm going to connect you offline to another Brit that I'm connected with that we met 10 years ago on a service called Seismic, which was kind of like a video chat service. He goes by the handle Documentally, and he's there in England as well. And he's like he was war correspondent, so he's traveled all over the world. Now he does podcasting and things like that as well. So I'm going to connect you guys. I think you guys really hit it off.
Ed Lawrence is down the road as well. He's close. You know, Film Booth, the guy that's doing really well right now on YouTube, the one that's blown up, he's literally down the road. He lives more towards London, but not far. So there are a few of us, handful of us that attend the conference.
Well, help us out now. How did you get started with this content creation? What was the beginning for you?
For me, gosh, that's I'll give you my entire life story. No, I'm joking. I won't do that. I'm a performer. You know, I said my nan was babysat the Beatles. I'm naturally a performer. I was born into it. My grandmother was a concert pianist from like 11. My mum was a dance teacher and dancer. And so from a young age, I've always performed. I was a singer, dancer, actor. So for me, performance was my life. Then I got into, which made sense, that was fine. This was all there wasn't really content then. There wasn't YouTube didn't really exist. It wasn't a thing. So I fell into content creation in 2018. If I'm honest with you, that's where it came. So up until that point, I was a performer, left performing arts, went and worked in the real estate game and the finance game. And then in 2018, after listening to Gary Vaynerchuk for a long time.
Haven't we all listened to him? Haven't we all?
Yeah, exactly. So I was listening to Gary V for 2 or 3 years, driving to a job I hated, thinking, maybe I should probably action some of the stuff that this guy is talking about. And I just picked up a camera. I picked up a camera one day, and it was 2018. I remember it was March 2018. I picked up this camera, which was my phone at the time, iPhone 6S. and I leant it against my coffee mug in the morning, and I just made a video on how to buy a house, and then it kind of all started. That was it. And it started with that one day. And
That's
I'm going to
awesome.
be really honest with you. I don't think I've pretty much gone a day where I haven't made a video since. And it
That's
just
really
snowballed.
That's really awesome and really interesting, because I was talking to Strick about it. Where I was a wannabe actor. I did music theater in college, and had TV shows here and there when I worked in broadcast. I'd always try to angle myself into. I did short films because I wanted to be in the films, right? So nobody would invite me, so I said I'll just do it myself. And then when YouTube comes along, you can just choose yourself, right? So and I know Strick did the same thing with being on the radio. So a lot of people that, you're drawn to this kind of medium because you want to entertain, and it's, maybe people think I think people say that sometimes to me, you're just kind of a big ego, but you really just like to entertain, and you like that feeling. And I think that's for me. And then we're all sitting there like, I can do this, but now we just need to make it make sense,
Yeah.
And so that need to entertain and give value in this kind of medium, I think, is why a lot of people get into it.
I think it's an incredible skill, and it was one of those things that, like as a communicator, I remember when I left performing arts, I was fully qualified and stuff. I remember thinking, well, what a waste of my life that was, and now I'm going to use this random useless skill for nothing, and I couldn't be further from the truth. The world has changed, and now the skill set that I, lucky enough, trained in is very, very valuable, and
right.
very, very, when they say luck, I'd love to say it's all skill, but it's just the stars aligned at the right time, and I trust in that process. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing, really. But it's not just that. Everything we do, I think, content creation, if you had a business background, you can really benefit on that side of things. It's
Right.
I think the beauty of content creation is it's not just about being a performer. You could be terrible on camera, but if you have a good understanding of process, or you can bring whatever you want to the table, and it will make it better, definitely.
So let me ask you this question. I know you started a new podcast. You just decided to do something new. Can you explain what that is and what type of success you're having with this new podcast?
Yeah, so I've started quite a few new ones. So I started a new.
I love it. Give us all the information, man. We want to know what you're doing, brother.
Yeah, well, it's quite crazy. So I absolutely love. Shout out to Nick Nimmin. Absolutely love Nick Nimmin, and I follow his live streams every week. And he always talked about how when I watch his content, he was talking about how and when I had him on my podcast, he was saying as well that your niche will pick you. As you start doing more content, you're going to start to see trends and patterns. Or he was talking about YouTube, but I do content across a broad platform of stuff. So over the last 6 to 8 weeks, probably a bit longer than that, actually, probably about 3 months, I started to notice certain platforms were popping on certain keywords and certain ones weren't. And so sat down, wrote a business plan, a content business plan, as to what to do, and launched a new podcast 2 weeks ago. Got me into the top charts. It was 13th in 48 hours, and that was in finance. Yeah, that was in the finance sector. So that's in mortgages, but it was in marketing. So
Right.
it's like digital marketing for mortgage brokers and stuff. And then I also launched a YouTube channel, which is called Podcast Creators Hub, which is the stuff that keeps coming up at the background. And that's like a YouTube channel just helping podcasters daily. There's 6 videos a day I'm doing on that.
6 videos a day.
That's
Let's
short
go.
as well, yeah.
I understand, but that's awesome.
And it's growing again at so both of them are doing really well. That one did 13th in the marketing charts for podcasting, and the YouTube channel. I mean, this month I've done about 80,000 views, and gained about 100, and I think it's like 180, 170 subscribers on a channel that's pretty new. I mean,
That's awesome.
2 months ago it had nothing on it.
I'm glad you're doing that, because I'm, and we talk about Gary Vaynerchuk and all that kind of. I've had this issue where I'm like, everybody's like, niche down, niche down, niche down. I'm like, no, that's not who. I mean, I have all these different things, right? I've been in marketing. I like marketing. I do vintage motorcycles. I have I getting ready to start teaching in a keto class for my community. So I have all these things that I want to do, right? And I just think that's who we are. You know, it's authentic to just do all these things. And, you know, as long as you can manage it all, I don't think you just have to be the camera guy or the, you know, so niche down, because I'm seeing so many of the huge YouTube creators getting burnt out. Like Gerald Undone is one I watch. He had a whole video of like, I hate what I'm doing. Why am I doing this? You know? So I think it's okay, you know, just to feel it, go for it, you know, and I think people like you, like I listen, I'm not a realtor. Don't currently have a podcast, but I listen to you every Friday morning as I'm driving into work, because you've built a community and you go live every Friday, and it's, you know, it's just, I know you, and it's more fun to listen to that on the way into work than it is to listen to my local radio station.
I mean, it's funny, the live streams, again, those live streams that I do on a Friday, they were not targeted for brokers and realtors and stuff, but they have kind of gone that way. But the beauty of that, as you said, is that it was really interesting, because this week and the last couple of weeks, they've not. In fact, quite a few people have turned up into the chat and said, I'm not a broker, but what you're talking about here applies to my business anyway, which is honestly what I want, because long play, I'd rather build a community around me. But what I realized was, you know, I'd rather build it around me. But what I realized, and this is again something that Ed Lawrence, a safe guy from Film Booth, he said on my show, I'm very lucky to have all these people on the show so I can like steal all their great wisdom. And he said, you know, they'll come for the information and they'll stay for you. He said, but if you make the mistake that they should come for you, then they might never come. And so he was like, so I've kind of been applying that approach, and funny enough, he's right. And,
can we just stop right there? That was a huge nugget, a great opportunity for streamers that are watching tonight to hear something that you have applied, information you got, and then you have applied, because I feel like that's one of the things that is my biggest struggle, being a personality, being a radio personality. Guess what? People, of course, they want to hear the music, but they come because of the personality. But YouTube is not all the way there. I mean, you can have a personality channel. It's just a little slower process to grow. So now you're saying the advice that you got, can you repeat it for us one more time?
Yeah, so the advice I got, and it was my wife as well who doubled it down when I told her it. She was like, of course that is true. And I said, is that they will come for the information, but if you're good, they will stay for you.
Love it.
And and you're so right about the radio presenter thing. That was something that I think was my roadblock as a content creator on YouTube.
I like it.
Has been that. And since I've got that out of my head, things have happened. So, you know, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that.
Well, I think it's like if you watch well, let's pick, you know, The Rock. Right? The Rock, you watch him in all these different movies. You like him, you're going to watch him in those, you know, they can move around. Same thing with, we were just talking off air about like Jeremy Clarkson in Top Gear. Well, now he's doing something on Apple. I'm going to watch, you know, I'm going to follow these personalities, right? Because I like them or what they're doing. So I'm going to follow them into different categories. So I think it's the same thing for us is, you know, you're trying, and I've struggled with that as well. I had a very successful podcast called Beer Utopia in 2006, all about craft beer, and it just kind of couldn't go anywhere. There wasn't a lot of growth, right? And then I was doing at the same time, Gary Vaynerchuk was doing Wine Library, and, you know, see what he did is he pivoted, and now you follow him for him. NFTs, marketing, whatever, you know, football, whatever, you know. So I think as a personal brand, for me personally, that's what I want to do. Same thing is you want to be a personal brand that can kind of go wherever the attention is, right? Wherever you know, whatever your muse takes you.
I also thought with mine as well is like I have access to you guys, you know, thanks to Rob again, we keep shouting him out here, but like the access to amazing community of creators. And I kept looking in our chat that we're in and stuff. And I was like, every time people mention me or anytime people speak, they ask me podcast questions, because I'm the podcast guy. And so I was like, well, why not, instead of fighting it and trying to be the YouTube guy, why don't I just be the YouTube guy who talks about podcasts? And funnily enough, it worked. You know, it's like you guys with the stream, isn't it? I was like, it works if you are niche into one sector at the beginning. And then after that point, you'll actually, I do know about other stuff, but I kept thinking as well with this, which was about my channel. I was thinking, why You know, if someone wants to learn about Instagram, they're going to go to an Instagram channel. If they want to learn about streaming, for example, they're going to come here. They're not going to go to Ash Borland, where one video might be about streaming, but the next video is going to be about TikTok, and the next video is going to be about podcasting. And I started, again, it's Ed Lawrence. He was just brilliant. That's why his channel did so well. He said, think about your repeat viewer, not your like new viewers. He said the problem with YouTube is right now everyone's thinking about new viewers, but really to build a community, you've got to think about if the person who watched that last video, would they want to watch the next one? And you know, a good hard look in the mirror, and the answer was no. So it's definitely helped now.
Man, that's awesome. I'm encouraged by all of this because I'm really thinking about the people that are watching this, the streamers that are watching this and are trying to find their way. And we're all asked and trying to find our way in this space with YouTube, trying to get traction. And we're seeing the example that Ash is setting right in front of us. And I just want to commend you, Ash, and for everybody to please be taking notes. Try to find ways that you can kind of implement these things for yourself. Who knows what will be next for you with just some small tweaks to what you're already doing, right?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Like I just kept thinking with that, and it's like all of us, it's this kind of, you know it's right, but you know, if you look at your content, you know it's right, but it's not landing. And I think that's the hardest bit, is going, that means that, and I think the problem with that a lot of the time is we tell ourselves if we keep doing more, we'll fix it, or the algorithm, or, but I think there's an element to that, but there's also an element to this idea of just look at it. It's in front of you. You just have to get out of your way.
And I think that's the biggest part. I think that I get frustrated with some of the bad advice that I get from different creators about niching down.
Stop talking about me, man. I'm only trying to help you, sir. My job is to only help.
Just do more, right? Even if it's bad, just do more. You know, I think you should do what you feel like doing, because you want to be able to look forward to doing this, right? You don't want to be like I said, a lot of these big creators I watch, they're stuck in that, I mean, we're talking huge creators, the Peter McKinnons and all the big, they're kind of in that niche, and it's hard for, they're all trying to move and make, different moves and bring some of their audience with them, but hopefully they've built enough of personality that they can do that. But a lot of them, you don't want to get stuck in this one genre, right?
Do you think part of that has come from the, sorry, Brent.
No, go ahead.
I said, do you think part of that maybe has come from the era of content creators has changed? If you think about these guys who are these old school, they're like they're not old school, but it's weird to say that, but they are, because YouTube is very different now, and content in general is very different now to what it was, say 2000 and right at the beginning, say 2010, when it's kind of all starting to go. These guys who have grown their channels 2010, 2012, 2014, the personal brand thing has become really, really powerful over the last 3 years. And a lot of these channels were built on more of a, you think of someone like Think Media, which I absolutely love their content. But I don't think Sean Cannell would do I don't think it would be a Think Media channel now if he sets up a new channel. I think it would be Sean Cannell, because
right.
I think, do you know what I mean? I don't know, but I'm just thinking there might be a shift now because of the consumer behavior.
Well, if I look back, in 2006, I started an internet startup company trying to start an internet television station, and everybody laughed at me. I spent a year. I had consultants. I did the work. I did all of the work for a year, and tried to raise $1 million from a venture capital firm. And they said, YouTube was never going to make it. This is never going to overtake broadcast. And so I was looking at everything through broadcast eyes, and I would see, back then I was really following something called Revision 3 and Leo Laporte, what he was doing with all that stuff. And over the years, I kind of drifted away, and I kind of refound Leo Laporte and all the stuff he's doing. There's 100 different tech shows of what Leo Laporte does, and he's just always been Leo Laporte, and I think that he just did his work all these years, and it's stayed consistent, and he's done huge, So I think there is some of that is just knowing, but then again, I also remember when I first started our beer show, I think the website had 400,000 hits the first week from all over the world. I mean, it was huge, but now, you can't get it, you know, you can get, it's so much competition now. So you really have to work hard. And then I think what a lot of people do is they want the easy way out. And so they're paying for the 20 best tips to do this and do that so easy and beat the algorithm. And I think you just have to settle in, know who you are, be true to yourself, and just, you know, not grind. I don't want to say that. I don't like that, but just do your thing, and, you know, try to get better, learn from all the people around you, and, you know that you might have to make adjustments, and it's okay to make adjustments.
There's no way around it. Me and my wife were chatting about it last night. My wife does, she has an allotment. And so for me, for me, when she got this allotment, she was growing, she pretty much grows all our food. And which is quite weird. But the reason why, it's great, but it's one of those things where you wouldn't realize that changed my perspective on the way I made content, the way I did everything. Because you can see these things. For some reason, we're in a world where we were instant gratification, but real things take real time to grow.
That's right.
And, you know, she would plant these trees, and she was like the olive trees and stuff. And she'd say, well, these won't bear, she was telling me, she's like, well, these won't bear fruit for 5 years. And I remember, you know, and they have like this moment where you're like, wow, like that's how, if something of real value, it takes 5 years. That's nature in its very raw form. Why am I thinking that YouTube is going to happen in a month or 2 months? And I think if you open your eyes around you, like my son is a year old next week. It takes a year to figure out, like, he's just starting to walk. It's this thing that for some reason, we believe that it can be fast online, and it can't. Nothing worth having comes quick. And that's my concern with TikTok, honestly, and I'm not trying to go to it, but my concern with TikTok is these things that shot up quick will usually come down quick. There'll be some people who survive, definitely. But a lot of TikTokers are a bit removed from the reality. Whenever I've interviewed TikTokers, so they know if they're here, sorry. But like whenever I've interviewed them on my show, they don't seem to understand that kind of sweat equity that is really required to build something worth having.
So
there's a difference between building a brand or doing the trends, right?
Yes.
Hey guys, let me interrupt you just 1 second. Great conversation, and I want you to stick a pin in it just for 1 minute, because we're talking about great ways for you to connect, and another great way for you to connect and grow is coming to the stream show. Like in just a few minutes, while we're sitting here talking, Jillian and Steve Worthy have just decided that they're going to be on Steve is going to be on Jillian's show. Like, this is super cool. And it's right here in the comments. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out to you guys, Jillian, what you're doing. I think is really, really cool. And of course, we want to support however the stream show can support, but being here and being in communities, all right, like the eCamp community is another place that will help you grow and connect with people that could take you to the next step. And as I cannot go another minute without talking about what Steve has just said as well in his comment, which is real things takes real time to grow. That is amazing. And it kind of like goes into the comment I made earlier to Brent. I was actually living in the real world this weekend, doing some real world things. And those things it takes time. For me, it took a lot of time and effort out of my day when I had a lot of editing to do to kind of stop what I was doing and actually go out and see people, meet people, and be friendly to other people and be a great friend to a couple that needed some real help. That being said, as people are trying to navigate, all right, they're trying to navigate through things like TikTok. Come on, man. It is so tempting, Ash, to just go to TikTok and do a dance. I'm not a dancer. Brent's the dancer in the group. But, you know, we talked about Gary Vee. He's been screaming about TikTok for 5 years for people to get on TikTok and to actually to do some engagement there. And it's skyrocketing right now as far as the viewership, people that are getting on there. I mean, how can you say to a creator that this is not a viable point when a viable content area to put content or medium for content, let me say it that way, with all of the attention on it right now?
I just want to say one thing. When we look at somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk, number one, I want everybody to know that I knew him when he very first started, and had some communications back and forth with him. And the way he started early on is way different than now. There is a whole team of people making that kind of content for him, the Mr. Beasts of the world, all those people. But the core of what Gary Vaynerchuk is he'll say is it's about attention. And so the next platform that comes up, he's going to jump. He's going to jump ship and go to that attention, wherever that biggest lift is. And that's easy for someone that has a big brand. It's harder for us, down here. So try not to skip around. I don't think you should sleep on certain platforms if they're gaining traction, but you can't, it's hard to go all in on, I'm going to do TikTok this week. No, next week I'm going to do short. No, next week I'm going to do YouTube. You got to find that core place to live, I think. What do you think, Ash?
I completely agree. That's exactly what I look at what I've done this year. I've worked really hard. I'm very happy with what I've done, but I also look at it and think if I'd maybe followed more of a focused YouTube Shorts. I've been sleeping on YouTube Shorts because I thought YouTube Shorts was going to be good the moment it came out, but I slept on it because I was too busy trying to be on all of them. I'll be on Reels, I'll be on LinkedIn, I'll be on LinkedIn, I'll be on this. And I think that you're spot on, Brant, with the idea of I love Gary Vee. I think he's great. Big brands who have audiences already. I'm just going to pick someone like, say, I just saw today, it was like Logan Paul was talking about how he'd been told to invest in VeeFriends. So say Logan Paul, he has to be on them. And it's easier for him to do that because it's just another, he just sends another member of his team to say, take my content, repurpose it on there. Or I'll do it myself and instantly it's going to grow. But if you are a content creator just starting out, like one thing for 1 year, like I really do believe that, because if you're trying to find that quick win to think that this is going to be the thing that's going to change your life, it just won't. And all you're going to be is, like the 6 videos a day type thing. You've got to stand out, and you're not going to stand out if you're doing one video on YouTube, one video on TikTok, one video on Instagram, one video on, it just won't work. So I think pick the one that you believe works best for you. I myself prefer YouTube after trialing them all, but if Instagram works for you, great. If TikTok is your long-term play, one of my very good friends, a guy called Josh Moore, Ginger Marketer, that's his thing. And he has a very, very, very profitable business as a TikTok coach through TikTok, 500,000 followers. But he doesn't go on anything else. He doesn't go on YouTube. He's not jumped on the Reels trend. He's all in on TikTok. And because of that, he's opened up brand deals with certain products that are only TikTok related, but also TikTok have now brought him on as a consultant.
Wow.
So I think if you double down in the right place, then you are gonna, you double down in the places that you want to be, double down at the beginning.
Right.
You'll see the results later. And then you can always move across later. You can always, if you've got a big enough audience, the stream show it gets hundreds of thousands of viewers, and then they can move across. And they will do then. You're just 10% still bigger than most people if you move them across. That's what I would say.
So we had the same issue, Ash. I want to say this. Brett and I decided when we started, we were really just content creators for other people, including Ecamm. And we went and multi-streamed to like 7 different channels. And we tried our best, but we think that it hurt from a content creation place, because even from moderation to moderate it, you have to have all those different channels moderated, people, questions being answered. If they raise their hand, you're able to see who they are, or even to build a community enough to say, hey, I see you in the comments. Thanks for coming through. When you have so many channels, it is hard to do that.
It is. I think it really is. I multi-stream every Friday, and I do multi-stream. Rich in the house.
Yeah, good to see you, Rich.
Nice. It's nice to see all the familiar faces. I do multi-stream, but what's really funny because, Brant, you tuned into the Friday stream, and it's funny because as the weeks have rolled on, like LinkedIn's kind of died off, and my Facebook one has like gained all attraction. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is unintentionally becoming a Facebook stream.
Wow.
So if that's the case, I won't. I still will keep them going, but I think they naturally. It seems to be that one outperforms the other, and you see this, like you say, with Nick Nimmin's live stream every Saturday. It's only on YouTube, and I think long term for what I would do, I would move that to YouTube, but I don't currently have a channel where it is niche specific for that channel. So I would wait until the channel has grown before I do that myself. But I do think, I think if you multi-stream, great, but I think it naturally finds its own platform.
That's good. I agree with you. Go ahead.
One of the things I think people fail to look at is who your target audience is. There's a lot of people on Facebook. Your grandma, your grandpa, your mom, your dad, everybody's on Facebook. So I think Facebook is huge for community. Look, we're here in the Ecamm community, and we only, most of those people I've only met and talked to and watched their streams in the Ecamm community on Facebook, because Facebook's good for that. But I'm a big proponent of LinkedIn because I know so many marketing directors and CEOs of, big corporations, that, from a brand perspective, if you're trying to make deals and things like that, it makes a lot of sense. So you gotta kind of look at who your target audience is, what your goals are, and then try to match the platform to that, and not try to just, I'm going to be the LinkedIn guy because I want to do LinkedIn. If it's not making any money and doesn't make sense and the brands aren't, ready for it, don't do it,
Absolutely. That's like the podcast that I have, the mortgage one, that I've got like 2,500 friends on Facebook. Probably 2,000 of them are mortgage brokers. So it was no brainer that, when you know your community, when I launched, that's why that podcast did really well, because I was like, well, I know where the audience are. I know that I've got 15,000 followers on LinkedIn, of again, which probably 12,000 of them are mortgage brokers, because that's how I got into the, go back to the phone on the coffee camera, on the coffee mug. That's how I got into it. So there was an instant audience for a product or a service or a podcast that I was going to launch. What was really funny was that know your audience. I had big followings on LinkedIn, TikTok, things like that. They're not interested in my podcast content.
Wow.
They're not interested at all. But YouTube was not interested in any content, marketing content, but it was interested at an alarming rate in the podcast content. So it just shows you say it's where the audience is. You've got to be quite smart and look and go where the people who have the problem that you can fix are. And I think a lot of the time, I meet people all the time as a consultant where they're like, I love Instagram. Like, yeah, but it won't work for what you're currently doing. So you can love it as much as you want.
Right.
It's not going to give you any money.
If you're a photographer and a fashion designer or a chef, or you're doing that kind of stuff, Instagram is, the place to be.
My tattoo artist cleans up.
Oh, there you go.
It's all visual. It's all visual. So it's completely visual. Mortgage advisors, absolutely not.
Right.
I know. I'm going to have to connect you with a mortgage person here. I know, friend of mine, and I notice she's all in on TikTok. I see it every day, and I just want to ask her, what is this work? Is this working for you? And how is it working?
There's a lot of brokers. I've got a couple of brokers who are friends who are like insane. Like I've got one friend of mine who did really well with mortgages in the UK here on YouTube. And then I've got 3 people I know who are like booked out for pretty much, the next 6 months from TikTok. TikTok have nailed one thing that other platforms like that can't seem to, which is the geolocation of the videos, which is something that they just seem to have nailed down. And I don't know how they're doing it. Obviously, we never know because it's very cloak and dagger. But they nail it down, which is where Instagram falls short. With Instagram, the problem I have with Instagram, with say for example, real estate or broker or anything like selling property, is you can't. I mean, you can geotag, but it's a lot harder because if you write hashtag mortgage broker or hashtag real estate agent or hashtag, then the issue with that is I'm going to get people from the US. You're going to get people from the UK. It doesn't. It's a global hashtag. For some reason though, TikTok's For You page will serve up if it's stuff like that. pretty much like the people I've worked with, they're looking at 95% of their audience are UK based.
Wow.
So it's really, really powerful. I mean, whether that stays, I don't know. But they've nailed that down for service-based businesses in the country you currently are in.
Well, got a quick question for you guys from Jillian. What's the approach with TikTok and our vertical videos? Wondering if it makes sense to lean into love learning on TikTok. So what do you guys think about her question?
My number one reason for vertical videos is we all have phones and we all look at them vertically. That's the easiest. I mean, around the world, everyone has a cell phone. Not everybody's sitting in front of their computer, so you don't instinctively want to flip your video. Because I can remember I come from broadcast, and I did my first vertical video accidentally streaming to Facebook because that was the only way you could do it. And I got so much shit from people that like, you're not a video person. If you do vertical, you got to do, and like, no, everybody's walking around with their vertical video. That's just how we communicate nowadays. Unless you watch, and if you're watching a movie on Netflix, you're going to switch it, right?
Right.
So I would say something that Gary Vaynerchuk talks about is friction, right? The less friction that your consumer has, if they're already holding it up, looking at their stuff, right? If you want to make them lean it over, they're lazy. They're not going to do that. So that's why vertical video makes sense.
I think it's the reason why I went into YouTube Shorts, and that is the number one reason, is if 80% of users on YouTube are mobile and YouTube Shorts appear in search, 49% of my YouTube Shorts, when I looked at my analytics from last month, not the current month, but last month, 49% of my YouTube Shorts were served in search, which is where I think people are sleeping on this idea, is that if all we're waiting on now is user behavior of YouTube Shorts of people on YouTube to get used to this idea of seeing that kind of ugly vertical video. And once that's happened, exactly what you just saying then, Brant, the world will change because it's a better experience for them. It's under a minute. So, obviously there's place for everything else, the long form streams and everything. But I believe if you're going to tie this back to the stream show, streaming, in my opinion, is a massive part of this vertical short form video formula. People aren't really realizing this. I think that YouTube itself and big content, we're going to see that era, sadly, I feel, of the shortish, mid-long kind of, the 3 to 15-minute YouTube videos. I think they're going to slowly disappear. And I think what we're going to see is users wanting less than a minute, educational, funny, entertaining, whatever it may be, and then they're going to want long live streams to connect with that creator on a more intimate level. Because if you look at stuff like TikTok, they do it. They offer short form and live streams. Look at Instagram, short form and live streams. And I think that is where the vertical thing is going to be really powerful as a way of people coming for the content, and then the live stream is staying for you. And I think those two things in the next 2 to 3 years are going to be I'm setting up a whole channel around it because I think it's super powerful.
Let me explain this. Me and Strick were talking about this the other day, and I did live TV, and we had some really, I'm not proud of the shows we did. It was called Confessions. It was a live call-in show. We had to bleep most of the content, but it was all about the engagement where people could hear themselves, right? I did a music video show that's streamed. It was on broadcast TV, like channels in Buffalo, New York and everything. And people would, call in to request a video. And I'm like, hey, Jill, thanks for calling in. We're going to play Beat It by Michael Jackson, And I think that there's one thing that people are sleeping on is they're not taking advantage of the comments and the interaction enough. Yeah. Because for me, and like what you do a great job is I'm driving to work in the morning. I forget, oh crap, it's like 7:30 and like turn on Ash and he's like, hey, Brent's here. Oh, Brent, and then everybody's like, hey, Brent, hey, Brent, hey, Brent, hey, Brent. So that you don't get that from the radio station. You don't get that from the morning newscast. And I think for live, that's what people really need to focus on is people are coming to get noticed or to get, to be seen. People want to be seen and heard and no one to say that, hey, Jillian's answer her question, or knowing that Rich Graham is always the first person to be on a new season of the stream show. These things mean a lot to people. And even we failed at it some, because you get busy, you're trying to run the show, you're trying to switch, but looking at the comments and bringing people on the stream. That's one thing about Ecamm. Bringing comments is a game changer to me, because people say, oh, there I am, I'm on TV. We all have that in us. And I think that's the big thing that we don't do enough of on these platforms.
I think it also feeds into, sorry, Strick, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I would say that the last 12 months, I very much was like, I can do this on my own. I can do this. No one's going to work as hard as me. Gary Vee's going to know who I am. And I was very like, rah. And I didn't realize I had a couple of people on the show. I had Ian Anderson Gray, people like that, like live streamers, Loria from Live Streaming Pros. And the more and more I started speaking to these live streamers, so they were like, you need to, like you guys, you need to get involved in the comments. And that Friday stream is literally one of my biggest highlights of my week, because I don't think, as a content creator, as we all know, it's tough and it's hard. And having people like, it sounds so silly, but even seeing the same people, having Rob, having Steve, having Rich, like I know who these people are. When you see them pop up in your stream, it as much as it makes them feel good that they get highlighted, it does make you kind of have this validation of like, this is right. And I think it's so important as small creators to not turn your back on the 3 or 4 or 5 people who are showing up each week.
That's right.
I think it keeps you going. Live streaming is completely unparalleled, but I love live streaming being like what we're doing now, like live, looking at the comments, interacting, and not really worrying too much about the replay, because I think the two of them can be quite difficult. I think that's hard to marry the two.
It can be. I think the biggest thing that we all have the opportunity to do between Brent and I, we like going live because the editing
we don't like
piece.
To edit.
I was going to say, you're lazy.
I'm lazy, yeah. We're busy. We're not lazy. We're busy.
We can just get to the point. And then you do get
also,
the
if you've got
engagement.
something like, if you've got stuff like Ecamm, I'm like really, giving it a plug again here. But the reality is, if you were going to edit something on Filmora, Mavive, wherever, Premiere Pro, DaVinci, it would still end up looking like what you're doing here anyway. So you might as well just do it. If you've got good stream software, it's better than that anyway.
It is.
My background is I've been doing editing since Final Cut Pro 1, and I've done short films. I can edit. I'm pretty bullish on my skill level. I can do anything. But when I got into broadcast TV, they would challenge me and say, hey, I need a show by the end of the week. Live to tape. We just did everything live to tape, because once I could get a system going, we just live to tape. And that's how we treat this. It's just live to tape. And it's easier once you build all the scenes, you get everything ready, just live to tape. My new job, my executive director came to me. We're getting ready for an election because they were doing a millage increase so we could increase our budget. I need to talk to everybody about this. And he said, they never really get it done on time, and I don't understand why they can't get it out to the, the people sooner. And is that the editing? I said, yeah, it's kind of editing. It's this, that, and the other. I said, but I got you. I set up an overlay, put our logos on it. He went live. I just recorded. We didn't go live anywhere, but I just recorded it. We put it on, YouTube as a private video, and then shared it within the, an email to the whole community. And he was so blown away. He was like, that was easy. That was fast. I was like, that's live to tape, right? Yeah. So there are perfect places for that, and I think that Strick and I are just perfect people for live because, we talk all through the week. We plan, we do some graphics and stuff, but it's like, you ready to go? What are we going to talk about? Because
and that comes from my radio background as well, where I can just hit the button, go live, and whatever comes out definitely comes out. I want to shout out my man Monty Weaver for hanging out with us, and he is in agreement with us. Yes, it is the editing part. What is this editing thing that we do? And so did Jillian say the same thing, and she's been all in the comments agreeing with you, Ash, about some of the things about video. So she does feel the same way about the multiple short forms that you can build a community with, and then doing the long form live stream. The the long form live stream is definitely a way to build a community and come talk to each other. We're able to see the comments. If you guys are in YouTube, you can see the comments in YouTube. We're actually able to place the comments from the Ecamm community and YouTube in one place on the stream because we are using Ecamm, and that does make it easy for us to kind of build a show and build community where everybody can kind of come together in one place. So the right tools in the right time, whether it's short form or long form, is a way to kind of connect with the audience. And this is for all of the streamers that are out there. You're trying to find a good way to make it. We've given you some tools today. Thank you for your wealth of knowledge, not just because you're telling people the same thing you would have heard. You're actually working this out in real time on your shows and saying, hey, when I see an avenue growing, I'm going to go down that growing avenue because this is what my base is telling me that they're engaged. Whether it's Facebook or whether it's YouTube, you're making a change, and I can appreciate that.
Thank you. That's really nice.
Well,
I'll take as much compliments as possible.
Yeah,
no,
man.
I mean that says a lot about, like you said, it's hitting you in the face, and a lot of people don't want to go down that road because it's easy, or it's not, they don't think that's what they want to do, but sometimes you just got to go, what is it? I'm not the most religious person, but I like this saying, where somebody said, guy was on his roof in a flood and said, God, why didn't you save me? He's like, I sent you a boat. I sent you, I sent you all these messages and you didn't take them. So sometimes I think that, this thing that's right here, and you're trying to make it so complicated and worrying about the tech and worrying about this, that, and the other, that you just need to, push the button, go live, figure it out I'm a big believer. You jump out of the plane and figure it out on the way down, because then you just have to. Because the biggest thing about recording video, and everybody in here, I bet you can say it, if you're going to do a liner and you're going to record it, you'll do it 20 times because it wasn't perfect. I didn't like the inflection. If Strick and I do promos, we just get on live and do it one time. And then if we make a little mistake, we just let it go, because that's what we love about live is you get a little bit more authentic and you'll just beat yourself to death trying to make it perfect.
I do all my videos, even my pre-recorded videos. I do the same thing because I did them all live from day one. All of my videos are one take, and if they're rubbish, well, they're rubbish. It's one of those things. There's no. I do one take, but then what I do is I do then do a bit of editing, but again, process in place. I have all my affiliates all lined up on B-roll ready to go. I have all the B-roll. I use the same things every single time. Right. I've got 40 bits of B-roll. So it's 40 bits of B-roll, and I'm never going to put that combination exactly the same together with the same thing I'm saying underneath, with the same music. As long as you've got it all there in processes, it's really easy. So even my pre-recorded stuff is live, really, because I just record it on in a platform. I use Camtasia a lot of the time because I can just use use that for B-roll. But or something like this is amazing as well. You don't have to actually edit it down. I don't think. I think as you're right, you end up with the inflections. Takes me forever if I actually was going to edit it to make it sound good. For 10 people to watch it, if you're a beginning creator, no one's going to watch it anyway.
Right.
So just keep going.
So as I'm going to have to stop you because we have to bring you back on the show to get some more information about what you're doing, man. This has been awesome to be able to get all of this out for the streamers that are watching because, man, you're doing it. And I don't want to, say it over again. I do want to do this. For people that are new to you, Ash, that may not know exactly all that you do, how can they get connected with you and see you on your different platforms with the information you provide?
Yeah, so best place, if my YouTube channel is called Podcast Creators Hub. That's my YouTube channel. There's also, I have two YouTube channels, Podcast Creators Hub, and then a new one, which is Content Marketing Crusaders. That one is just my podcast show. So that's just shorts. It's going to have Strick all over it, and Brand will be on it in the new year. So it's all of that. That's just my, me interviewing other creators, similar to something like video influencers. but Podcast Creators Hub is my main YouTube channel. And then if you want to connect with me on Instagram, that's where kind of just everything is. It's just kind of me being me. If I'm here on the show, I'll share that to stories, and that's where we can have more of a connection. So Instagram, and that is just at Ash Borland. And like, you know, just pick, if you do connect with me and you follow me, if you guys are in here and I've been seeing you going, we don't already, then send me a message and say, you know, you watched the stream, because I'll follow you back. I only follow people back who I know. And so if you say that, I want to follow you back because I want to get to know you. So just say you watched on the stream show, and we'll connect.
I appreciate you saying that, Ash. I follow you on Instagram. That's where I see a lot of your content, and on LinkedIn. So I'm getting Ash all the time. You know what I'm saying? Literally. But I love it. It really motivates me to see what you do, and more importantly, is information that I get again. Like you're getting to be my Gary V, man. I love it.
Thank you. That really means a lot.
All right.
And I really want to appreciate you staying up so late, because I know you're on a different time zone than us, and you know, we really do appreciate you.
Yeah, 1:06.
Oh, that's incredible. If somebody if somebody asked me to do that, I would do it. I would do it. Ash, if you asked me to do it and it's a late show, I would stay up for you. But I would probably
He's never asked me, so I don't know.
I have asked you so many times. You have so many times. But I would give you that. That just gives you the power of community. You messaged me yesterday, and I literally said, it wasn't even a thought. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll just drink more coffee tomorrow morning. Because if you know each other. So I was like, I have to go on there. You're going to make me feel more alive and more powered up.
And it worked out for us today. So Ash, hold what you got right there. Listen, Brent, man, I knew I was calling the right guy. I know the concept of our show is to be able to help streamers. There's so much content there for a streamer. This may be a show that they just have to stop, take notes, and rewind and just get it over and over again. What do you think?
I'm thinking we're going to have him come on again and talk specific about process, because I think there was some nuggets there that he wasn't, you know, he was talking about, like 40 pieces of B-roll, music, putting it together, making things easy. So I think we should have him on again and maybe talk a little bit, go dive deeper into that process, because I think there's a lot of people out there that need help with just, you know, the process of making it, not say easier, but get into rhythm to make content more frequently.
I love it. I love it. So we are thinking about you every day. So Brandon and I are talking, and we're talking about how we can make this show better for you. And one of the ways that we are making the show better for you is we're bringing on another sponsor called IK Multimedia. IK Multimedia actually are doing so many different things in the streaming space with interfaces and microphones, along with some software. We will be giving away new items each week until the rest of the holiday. So every time that we come on, which I think now we have 4 or 5 more shows left, we'll be giving something away to you. And you also have an opportunity to come on to the show. Brent, you mind telling them how they can actually come hang out with us here on the show?
Yeah, we're excited to partner again with Ecamm and Ecamm Live, and they're showing, you know, we want to see behind the stream. So that's our segment with Ecamm, behind the stream. Show us what you got. Everybody wants to know. The biggest question they ask is what camera are you using, your lights, your microphone, how much did you spend, what's working, what's not working. So if you'd love to be a part of that, we would love to talk to you and kind of show off your setup. And you can go to the streamshow.live, and there's a button there to say be a guest, and you'll fill out that form, and we'll get back in touch with you. You know, it's not only a chance to help someone else, right? But it's also a little bit, you can show off your stuff, because I know you've been working hard, you know, whether it's your background, what you painted it, you know, the good deal you got on the lights in Amazon. We want to know all of that. So hit us up there, or you can follow us on our YouTube channel. You can comment there. You can follow us on our the Stream Show Live Facebook. Just reach out to us, and we would love to have you on the show.
Dr. Elo is funny. So he is too funny in the comments. Listen, we've had a great show for you guys tonight, and it's been awesome to be able to hang out with Ash and all the creators. Listen, everyone that's come to this show today and have provided a piece of content, Rob, Julian, Steve, Rich, the Be Love Inc. ladies, we really do appreciate you guys. And you guys are telling us we had a great stream tonight. We can only do great things with people like you. So thank you for being a part of what we have tried to do tonight. So that being said, Brant, man, I'll see you next Sunday.
I will see you. I'll be right here.
Actually, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I know we'll talk. We talk all the time. And I got to figure out who this Facebook user is. This keeps coming through, because can you look in the, I don't want to be sure I don't miss anybody. So can you look in the stream there or the community and see who that is? And then we'll get out of here, guys. We'll see you guys next week. But I want to see who this person is just to be sure I can shout them out.
Facebook user, great stream. Sorry, I'm trying to look into the groups
you good?
here. Hold on. You caught me off guard just a little bit because I had everybody pulled up. We're in the Ecamm Live community, and we got JP High Tech, James Hicks.
Hey, man. Hey, guys. Thanks for coming through.
That was JP High Tech. He said, it's me, JP. There you go.
That's what's up, man. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, JP. We got to get you on as well. James Hicks, thank you, sir, for being in the community and for chiming in with us tonight as well. And, of course, I cannot forget about the blind guy, his wife, and their life. They are always supportive. God bless you guys. See you next week.